it's learnings from 10KTF where it's like 10KTF told a story and that got you attached to your NFTs and then the characters. What they're doing here is I think they're combining that together where you get to tell the story of your NFT over time. And so, like you said, maybe the floor price of something where you have an emotional attachment is generally going to be way higher because you put time, effort, energy, and emotion into it. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another damn episode of The Damn Show. You got Atare, and we got Maybe in her undisclosed location, number 1.
No, maybe number 4 or 5. No, I'm joking. I'm in many locations usually, but I just disclose them. I think you're right. This is the first time I am not disclosing it just because it feels right to not disclose it, not for other reasons, but
Exactly.
hello.
Exactly. So that's why it's undisclosed location number 1 for you. You're a woman of many cities. Look, today we're going to talk about what we think is Yuga Labs' secret strategy that they're using that is going to differentiate them and in their web3 gaming realm. There's a lot of things cooking, and we want to give a big shout out to Nash. He hosts a great space called NFT on Fridays. Check that out on Twitter. But he had a really cool Twitter post that talks about this, and so we're going to go dive deeper into this about what we think is Yuga Labs' strategy on becoming the premier web3 NFT gaming studio labs company. Before we get into that, we have to kind of lay a little bit of foundation on NFTs in general. So NFTs really took a big hype curve in 2021 where it came out with these static images, and that year 10KTF came out where a lot of companies and projects learned that you can actually create derivatives of NFTs and people get really emotionally attached. And then 10KTF, what they did really well was they told a story about over time, and that got people even more attached to their NFTs. And I think that's really at the core of what is behind Yuga Labs' strategy.
Yeah, we know that when we buy an NFT and we really care about that NFT, that's going to change the moment when we're going to sell it or how we're going to treat that NFT in general. If we really care about it, we're not going to sell it for a low price, or we're not going to sell it at all. Like, we're going to hold it forever. The strategy that we want to talk about today about Yuga Labs, it's based on the 3 main games that they are launching, which are Legends of the Mara in the other side, Heavy Metal, and the 10KTF Battle Town. So what are these 3 things, these 3 games that have in common? What we saw and what Nash also said in his thread. It's about holding NFTs that are going to change in time. They are dynamic NFTs that they are going to evolve. And what that happens, what the consequence is that you're going to just care more about those NFTs because you are emotionally invested. You invested a lot of time to make them grow, to make them change to a specific form. Maybe you played multiple games to get to that specific level. The consequence is either you're going to hold your NFTs because you're so attached, or you're going to sell them, but then the price tag for that item, it's going to be, pretty high if you invested a lot of time and energy to get to a certain level. So I feel like it's a win for the Yugaverse gaming either way. Either you sell your items because we know that gamers want to also own the assets of their games to be able also to sell them at one point and to make money out of it. Or in the other case, to create super fans that never want to sell and they're going to continue to be engaged and play on the Yuga Labs platform.
Yeah, and I think what's interesting about that is that, I said it earlier, NFT started off as these static assets and everybody thought the metadata had to be frozen. We're now really, and I made a video about this, I think about a year back with Dijon University, but it was about dynamic NFTs and how that's really going to be the future of where we're going. And this is what Yuga Labs is doing with Legends of the Mara, with the vessels, what 10KTF is doing with Battletown and G tags, and then Heavy Metal. In all 3 of those instances, we're going to be hatching our vessel eggs over time to create Kodamaras. We just found out yesterday, but with 10KTF, we're going to be rearing G tags. That's we'll put a screenshot up that shows that rearing, and what does that mean? And the basic definition of rearing is it's like raising something. So it's like we're going to be raising these tags over time, and we know that G tags are going to become our PFPs. And then with Heavy Metal, we just did a video about it last week. If you haven't watched it, go check it out. But the complete history is, look, these started off as sewer passes that have now transformed into little mechs that are going to go into big mechs, which is going to be Evo 2, and then larger mechs, which is Evo 3, and then potentially even have mechs for our dogs if you own the Kennel Club. So in all three of those cases, we're seeing the full force of this dynamic NFT. And really what I think is it's learnings from 10KTF where it's like 10KTF told a story and that got you attached to your NFTs and then the characters. What they're doing here is I think they're combining that together where you get to tell the story of your NFT over time. And so, like you said, maybe the floor price, because I don't think they're focusing about the floor price, but the floor price of something where you have an emotional attachment is generally going to be way higher because you put time, effort, energy, and emotion into it. And to let go of something right now, it's hard. I saw a tweet from Andrew Wang earlier today where he said something like, you really didn't sell $5-6 figures worth of NFTs because you thought it was your Web3 identity. And Andrew Wang put up a screenshot of his upside down cat that he's known for, where he had an offer for 1.3 million or 7 figures, and he didn't sell that. And we're kind of laughing at the fact that, wow, this emotional connection thing really, really makes us make decisions that maybe in hindsight we would do differently. But I think in this case, we're not going to be dealing with the mania of like, here's a 7-figure offer, don't take it because, you think it's going to go higher. It's going to be more about, I really care about this thing and I value it because I built it. And I helped craft a story of it. And so if I am going to sell it, it has to be for like a very dire reason, or like the price has to be really high. And I think all that combined is going to lead to a really healthy ecosystem, because you don't really want people trading NFTs like how they trade shitcoins, because one shitcoin is the same as the other shitcoin, and the game there is purely about profit. NFTs introduces a layer of emotion and connection. And I think it's really interesting. And I think I'm pretty bullish on them focusing on that as their strategy and how they're going to differentiate themselves.
Yeah, and the differentiation part, it's very important because we know that Yuga now, they're going into a new field, like something that hasn't been done yet. And obviously they have to be original with their idea. They have to bring something that, it's new and makes sense for the community to engage, but also for people that are outside of the community to be brought on into it. And I feel like this is a great hook to get new people in, just like what they did with the sewer pass and Dookie Dash. So get new people in, and once they're in, you have to make them stay, because it's not enough to get new people. You have to make sure that they enjoy their time. You have to make sure that they share with their friends. Yo, guys, come, let's play together in the other side because this is so cool. So I feel like they are creating these old stories and making NFTs more customizable and connected also with what you decide to do, what you buy, what you give, like, for example, to eat to your Koda Mara or Mara. And that's going to make everything more enjoyable. And it's going to make also new people getting into the ecosystem and not wanting to leave.
Yeah. In a funny way, we're actually going back to the late 90s, early 2000s hardware with NFTs, where it's like Tamagotchis, where you had to raise little pets on the little Tamagotchis that many of us had as kids. I know my sister had a Tamagotchi and she would raise the pet, and one day it died, and it was very sad. But it kind of feels like we're going back to that idea of like us wanting to raise something or create something or nurture something. I also think about there was a game that I played. It was an MMORPG, a massively multiplayer online role-playing game in the mid to late 2000s. It was called Rose Online. And while you were talking, I just remembered a feeling that I had where I got my character these purple dragon wings, and it's an item you can equip, and it's expensive and it takes time. And I finally sold stuff in the game to earn that. And I remember the feeling of being, like a 8, 9, 10, 11-year-old, and finally equipping them to my character and being able to show everybody in the game, like, look at what like, those are my wings. And like, I felt so cool. And I think about why NFTs make so much sense with a game like the other side, because I think we're going to experience the exact same things as we did as kids. Or for new people that maybe didn't grow up with those games, they're going to be able to get that feeling that people had as kids of like, look at my character, he's got those wings. Other side dropped those helmets a few months ago with the second trip, and a lot of people are like, oh my god, I want to have that helmet because it's the first item in the other side. And so I'm excited even just for that, of not just building your G tags from inception to birth or whatever, or your vessels and your Kodomaras, also your character and the items that you're going to collect that make you feel something. You're like, my character looks really cool. Check him out on the other side. I'm really bullish about that. I think they're really approaching this from a really cool, interesting perspective. And yeah, I'm really curious about what people think about this theory. Nash, shout out to him. His tweet got a lot of attention, and rightly so, because I think there's something really interesting in all of that. And so let us know what you think in the comments below. Do you think Nash is onto something here? That we're going to be raising things so we have a deeper connection, and we're going to be, much less likely to just exit the ecosystem because we have those emotions.
All right, and this is the timeline, at least what we know right now about these 3 games that we were talking about. So we will start playing the Evo 2 game for heavy metal now in June. We don't know which day yet, but it's going to be this month. Then in July, we got this announcement this Thursday from 10KTF that Battletown is going to start middle of July. So we're very, very excited about it. For Legends of the Mara on the other side, we know that it's going to happen in the summer, probably August, but we don't know yet in which moment of the summer that's going to happen. We have the N-Way game that we still don't know. It should happen. I don't know if it should even happen this year, probably this year, but we don't know when. And when we talked about the interview with Daniel Allegre, where he talked about the other side, he explicitly said that the other side is going to open in a consistent way by the end of this year. So that we know for sure. And this is like the timeline of this of all of these games with the current knowledge, with information that they gave us until now.
And I think what's exciting about all this is that with how Yuga Labs is building, not just for their own ecosystem, but for the wider ecosystem, all of these things are going to be interoperable. So you will likely be able to get your heavy metal in all the ways you develop it into the other side in a specific way. Same thing with your G tag PFP, and probably the same thing with your Kodamaras in Legends of the Mara. And then whatever happens with the anime game, I feel like the heavy metals and all these things are going to play a role in that as well. So it really won't be just an item that's contained in one universe or in one game. It can be an item that's going to be in the whole Web3 gaming ecosystem and universe, and that's super exciting. So we're really pumped for it. Maybe what should they do if they like this video?
They should like, subscribe, get notification on so you know when we go live and when we drop a new video. And yeah, just continue to watch if they enjoy it.
That's exactly it, guys. Thank you so much for joining us on another damn episode of The Damn Show. We come to you live every damn Thursdays at 5 p.m. So join us, and we have another game show cooking. We can't tell you when, but it's coming soon. And just be excited for it, because I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So take care, everybody.